It is getting more and more expensive these days. Inflation is real and in the news lineup today. Welcome to the Daily Forkast, November 11th, 2021. I'm Angie Lau, Editor-in-Chief of Forecast News, covering all things blockchain. Well, Bitcoin hit a new all-time high of just over 69,000 US dollars. That according to CoinGecko late Wednesday Asia time, spiking after October's US CPI leapt 6.2%, marking its largest gain in 30 years. We're going to take a look at why inflation is such a driver for crypto markets and a whole lot more coming up. Let's get you up to speed from Asia to the world. Let's kick off with some of the top stories out of Asia today. First up, the chairman and CEO of Chinese tech giant Tencent Pony Ma has called the Metaverse, quote, a very exciting but a little bit vague concept. However, he also says he sees it as an opportunity for growth. Just last month, local media reported that Tencent was hiring dozens of employees for projects that appeared to be related to the Metaverse. Over in Kazakhstan, the Minister of Energy says lawful crypto miners will not face electricity restrictions so long as they do not compromise energy security in the country. Now, power had been rationed after an influx of miners to the country saw electricity shortages. Meanwhile, Kazakhstan's National Association of the Blockchain and Data Center Industry says it's pleased to see authorities shutting down illegal miners and that it sees a bright future for the sector in the country. You can find more on those stories at forecast.news. All right, taking a look at the new economy now, where every week we take a deeper dive into the current crypto landscape, the opportunities, the challenges, and we explore the hottest questions in crypto right now. In the hot seat, Michael Wu, CEO and founder of Amber Group. It's great to have you, Michael.
Thank you, Angie. It's great to be here.
All right, so Michael, in the past 24 hours, we saw crypto prices surge within minutes of reports showing inflation in the US is rising while wages are falling, and the price of Bitcoin hit yet another all-time high. Why?
Well, I think to start with, this is a very, at least eye-popping number on the CPI. October CPI in the US is up 6.2%. which is, I think, the historical high ever since 1990s. Now, what does that mean? That means inflation is here, and it is, affecting people's daily life. For those of you unfamiliar with the CPI, that is an index that indicates, things like food prices, basic living expenses, etc. And a fast rise in CPI means, people need to pay a lot more to buy milk, to buy food, to pay for rent, the daily stuff they actually need, right? And why does it matter to Bitcoin? Now, first of all, many people still know Bitcoin as the digital gold. They still know it as a digital form of storage of value. They see it as a inflation hedge, just like the physical gold. So not surprisingly, with such a upside shock to the CPI, both the old gold and the new gold rallied a lot on the news. Long-term wise, I think that has been the trend, and that in fact sort of is associated with the very origin of Bitcoin. If all of us remember, Bitcoin came into existence during the first wave of quantitative easing, aka money printing from the central bank. And this inflation number we see, and the overall, the rising of prices is in fact, a long overdue side effect of continuous central bank money printing.
Another hot headline this week, we heard Apple CEO Tim Cook reveal he owns crypto. Why do you think the market cares so much when we hear mainstream business leaders owning Bitcoin?
Well, I personally don't care that much, and I doubt a lot of the more serious investors in the space really cared about it, except the sort of the sensational news headline. I think Tim won't be the first, won't be the last. There are tons of business leaders, whether they admit it or not, have owned Bitcoin on their personal investment accounts. At this point, I think for a very successful tech entrepreneur especially, or even for a high net worth individual, it's almost unreasonable to not own any Bitcoin, not own any cryptocurrencies. So really, to me, it's not even news, but I guess, what it does is it brings another reason for people to have a chat point with their friends, with their family, and to go, hey, now, even Tim Cook is owning Bitcoin. That's why, I have been telling you about Bitcoin forever. So, I guess it does that.
This is, after all, the new economy. Thanks, Michael Wu, CEO and founder of Amber Group. Over in South Korea, for the first time, the court has ruled in favor of customers who lost money in a cryptocurrency exchange hacking incident. 11 investors who suffered losses after hackers hit CoinRail, stealing 40 million in altcoins back in 2018, sued the exchange. What did they want? Well, they wanted two things: that the exchange be held accountable for the hacking and that it was obliged to return deposited assets. So how did the South Korean court rule? Well, it could have wider implications for exchanges in the future. Forecast News' Danny Park has more.
Although the police retrieved some of the stolen crypto this year, many investors lost out. So the former customers claimed damages from CoinRail's operator Linus, saying the exchange was at fault for the hack and that it refused to return their deposits afterwards. CoinRail shut down soon after the incident, and although it promised compensation for the lost crypto, nothing was paid out. Then on Wednesday, Seoul Central District Court decided that CoinRail should pay the plaintiffs 380 million Korean won, or around $320,000 in damages. However, while the judicial panel ruled that the exchange was obligated to reimburse the virtual assets deposited in each user's account as stipulated in the exchange's terms and conditions, it said the exchange was not liable for the hacking itself. The plaintiffs also claimed that the exchange stored the deposited crypto in its own e-wallet, which made it more vulnerable to hacking. But this claim was not accepted by the court. With the court ruling heavily based on the exchange's user agreements, it's a warning to always exercise due diligence. For Forecast News, I'm Danny Park.
And that's the Daily Forecast from our vantage point right here in Asia. Hit like, hit subscribe, hit that alert button. We always appreciate it, and it helps us with our goal to reach more of you. For more, visit forecast.news. I'm Editor-in-Chief Angie Lau. Until the next time.